All right. Hi, I am Brett Dupree, and this is my awesome health journey. Have you ever made a promise to yourself and you thought, well, I'll do it later, and you keep on doing it later, and then finally you're just going to do it? Today I'm finally going to do it. I'm going to talk about the thing I don't want to talk about. How do you like my computer glasses? I finally got them out of my box that I got from work a year ago. Or 2 years ago. I finally went through that box. I'm so lazy. This is not about my laziness. This is about the fact that I'm ashamed of my body. 100%. I have, big old man boobies. And yeah, promise I do that on this thing. That I like do something I'm ashamed of. And yeah, I remember when I first developed them. That was when I was 8 years old after my parents separated. This is one reason why I actually believe that cortisol has a lot to do with weight gain because I went from being able to eat anything I freaking want. I ate fast, I ate a lot as I could, and being skinny, my parents separating at the end of the school year, and then visiting my mom in August because my dad, I mean, don't need to go into that, but seeing and her commenting on my belly and how I'm getting bigger. And that was only a few months. So obviously, with child hormones and everything, there's something shock to my system that just made my body think now it's time to gain weight. And since 8 years old, that's what my body kind of already did. And the thing I developed was I started with a gut and man boobs, little tiny man boobs, of course. And then they just continued even in high school. I was a wrestler. I would wear a singlet, and I was always very concerned that it was easy to see my man boobs in my singlet. I mean, that's a tight thing to wear. Luckily, the ladies like my butt. I know this because in ninth grade, when I used to do a bear hug with my butt up the air, I forgot her name, but I got into a butt contest with Brian Robinette. Was it Brian Robinette? I think it was the other Robinette, which I found was weird. How standing up and women going, "Woo! Look at that butt!" That was ninth grade, which I don't know. I refused to stand up for the finals, and then I ended up losing the butt competition. But I do remember one time. I would think I was a senior. I was tired and it was hot because we wrestled in this really tiny room, and it got gross in there. It was hot and humid with human sweat, which is disgusting. And I made the mistake of taking off my shirt. And I can't remember his name right now because I'm old and can't remember names. But the assistant, the black guy, I forgot his name. He laughed at me. I remember him laughing at me, saying that I did have weight to lose because at the time I wanted to wrestle 190, but even though there was this new 215, but I didn't want to wrestle 215. I wanted to wrestle 90 because that's where I wrestled before, and that's where all the people I wanted to defeat were. But I ended up wrestling 215 anyway, which is probably for the better because I would have had got down to like 198, and I had like 2 weeks to go, and the coach was this, and plus Lee Thomas was 190, and Lee Thomas is good, and there's no reason not for a coach to want me to be 215. It was just a better situation, but I do remember that, and then I spent most of my life completely ashamed of it, especially high school. I did, I was an athlete in high school. I did football and wrestling, and then I didn't do track because I sucked at it. But during like track season, I'd just go out, try to stay in shape by going for jogs around the track. And yeah, and then college happened. I put on the freshman 50. I put on a lot of weight with unconditional, unlimited food without doing much exercise. And then it just continued to, that was when I yo-yo dieting and getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more ashamed of my body. Weighing in at 470 pounds almost made me cry the first time it happened. I felt devastated. Actually, the the tier of weight, going up from being around 215, 230 in high school, then getting up to 260, 270 in college, and then going back and up and down. And each time I lose weight, I'd go up to like 300, 285, 315, 295, 330. and it would just keep on going. And the last time I lost a lot of weight was about 4 years ago. I got down to 360, yeah, about 340, from 400 to 340, and that's when I jumped up to 415, and then got down to about 390, and then got up to 430, and then I finally did the intuitive eating and gained 40 pounds, trying to break my habit of food, getting up to 470, which was tough. It was tough, and during the entire time, I hated my body. I mean, especially once I got around 390, which was probably around 10 years ago, at least 7 years ago. And that was just pain, nonstop life of pain, and a lot of issues, acid reflux, constant, issues with like dealing with leaky bowel syndrome. It was terrible, and just hated my body so much, and the fact that I couldn't do it, just couldn't keep the weight off, no matter how hard I tried, or I'd get the weight off, and then like I would get depressed and sad and eat my feelings. But it's also my body's it's like fighting my body's natural instinct to survive, because losing weight is starvation. It's an eating disorder. You have to get an eating disorder to lose weight, especially quickly. It's even if it's a quick eating disorder, it's an eating disorder. It's you're starving yourself. You're starving yourself, so you eat yourself because you're eating fat, which is funny. You breathe it out, which I didn't realize that's what you did. But you're a cannibal. You're just eating yourself, and it just made me upset that I couldn't do it. And just looking at my body, and I mean, being a positive person, I have to look in the mirror, notice things I like. Like I like my smile a lot. I love my shoulders, how broad they are. I like my forearms, like they're when they see muscle. Or notice I have a lot of Orange Theory. I can look at the muscles of my forearms, so that makes me happy. I like being muscular. I got my body composition at the weight loss clinic, and I'm topped out on muscle. So, rah, rah. I like that part of my body, but like all the fat part, like seeing my gut, seeing that fat right below my gut between unmentionables and stuff, I hate that. Um, Seeing my like that, it's part of society, really. It's hard to not dislike being fat, and it's the only reason why like people under 200 pounds complain about fat. I mean, what do you think of me, who's like double your weight, if you're complaining that much about yourself? Think about it. But yeah, and anyone can say they're not ashamed of my body. I mean, like, people I date will tell me I'm fine and, I'm good looking, but then they'll complain about gaining weight and how fat they're becoming. And, if they gain weight, well, does that really mean you are fine with me? If you really think about it, no, right? And it's just so self-conscious and so based on my self-worth, and it shouldn't be. Um, it's going to take a lot of work for me to do that. It's going to take a lot of work for me to look at my body and not dislike it, really. I mean, not just pay attention to things I like, which I do like the muscles. I do like being a strong person. But at the same time, looking at all the fat, I don't like it. I don't. It's hard. It is very hard to deal with. Especially in today's society that people will judge you, and so it doesn't help that, because I know everyone judges me poorly, calling me think I'm lazy, like I haven't worked my ass off, or people giving me advice like I haven't fucking researched everything there is about losing weight and learning more about it. Like body wants to be fat for many reasons, and it's through many different sedentary lifestyles. The computer person's hard for me to walk around all day anyways because of my job. I mean, yeah, that's an excuse, but at the same time, your body will like you become depressed to become fat again. I mean, your body just does that and makes you more lethargic, and you have to push through that, which is one reason why I think the drugs help so much, because they get rid of that part of your body trying to force yourself into gaining the weight back. That's my theory based on my reading, one of my theories. But yeah, it's a long road, and I have to also recognize that, like, if I do lose the weight, to not have that really conflate my ego as well, and not. It's a lot of mental things. It's a good thing I have therapists and a support structure, that because I really need one on this one. Um, so yeah, this is me talking about how much I don't like being fat, and I understand intuitive eating is not about losing weight, but I don't want to be 450 pounds, which is what I am now. I don't want that. And no amount of fat activism or you're beautiful at any size is gonna make me want that. I figured 350 is the most I can be and still live in this world and not worry about breaking everything. Um, Being able to just go on planes and go to like concerts and shit like that. But yeah, so that's me talking about how much I don't like my body. Tomorrow will probably also be kind of sad stuff. So yeah, look forward to that.